Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SA Accounting Academy. Here's a short clip on one of our previous webinars. I hope that you really do enjoy it.
I take it you can all see my screen. I will be jumping to my other documents as well, so my screen sharing will also function. As you can see, we've got our legislation update for the month of May, and it covers everything as it stood during the month of April. It's on the agenda for today. We've got a number of items, and you'll see the whopping news is under regulator news this month. Last time I saw you guys, or you heard me, we had a heck of a lot under taxation update. We've got under accounting update, where we normally only have one. I found some interesting items relating to COVID-19, specifically relating to IFRS and GRAP reporting. So I decided to include that for your purposes as well. Right, it's just a lot easier. So I've got that. Under auditing, we've got 7 items as well. And yes, a lot of the items do relate to COVID-19. And you need to watch the presses, like for instance, on the auditing update side, I will be presenting in 2 weeks a webinar specifically on going concern, in terms of going concern and subsequent events as it relates to IFRS, as it relates to the IASs, and then management's considerations, as well as the auditors and the independent reviewers' considerations, as well as the reporting items. So watch your emails, because from these items, I'll be taking little ones and making short webinars, maybe just an hour or so. All right. So that's where I want to go to, so that you can get a detailed look at some of these documents, because reading through all of them, there really is a lot. All right, company secretarial, there's just the 4 notices of CIPC. Under employment law, we've got 2 items. Other laws and regulations, we've got 6 items, and that's also mainly due to some of the COIDA changes. All right, some of the workman's comp changes that we've had. And then mainly also we've got some occupational health and safety items that we need to just focus on because of COVID-19. Under the tax update, we sort of got a normal month. We had a normal month, as normal as we can. But we've had a couple of guides and 2 binding private rulings and a note, and draft interpretation note, and so on. So nothing too serious there. All right. What I have found is on the regulator news side, you'll see there's 23 items. And what I decided to include there for you was specifically for URBA, for SAICA, and for SARS. Those are the 3 main COVID pages that I refer to. The SAICA one is sort of a hub. They actually do call theirs a hub. And you can access it. So I've given you that link. You can access the actual legislation. There's links to other websites. There's links to international associations. There's links to the URBA website, links to the SARS website. So if you want to know more about the tax of COVID-19, you can follow that link. All right. Under regulator news also, what we've got a couple of FSCA warnings that we normally have. And then under general this month, we've only got 2 items. 2 articles that I thought was very interesting, and I wanted to just bring that to your attention as it relates specifically to us accountants and auditors. All right, so that's our table of contents. Let's get started with our actual material. Just the quote that I always have for this update is, the only thing you can be sure of is that things will change. All right. Still can't find who said that. There's lots of other quotes relating to change, but that one I know for sure. All right. In terms of the accounting updates, if we start off at the front, you'll see that for each section, I've now given you what items are dealt with in this section. And then where necessary, I've made a slide for each one of these topics. All right. So that we can go into further detail. So if we start off on the first item, which is our IFRS monthly news summary, there are 7 items that are included for you. Now, what I would like to do quickly is just to refer to the screen sharing. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to open up my webinar material. Right. There's my screen sharing, and there you can see IFRS monthly news summary. And you'll see, like I've had on the slide, the only item out of all 7 of these that really sort of I thought was, yeah, we've got to look at this, is in terms of a consult that they are proposing now to amend the leases standard. Now, we've just been through the new IFRS 16 that's come into effect. So now they want to change it, and they want to make it easier for lessees to account for COVID-19 related rent concessions, things like rent holidays and temporary rent reductions. Because as a result of COVID-19, the way that people have transacted in leases, the way that people have transacted in the economy has great effects. So everything has to be responsive. So if you want to, you can go and read more up on that. If you'll see, if you hover over it, the link is there. All right. The link is there to the material, and you can go and read up more on that proposal there. Then, just so that you know as well, there are also 3 ways for you to provide comments on the review of the existing IFRS for SME standard. So if you want to, just so that you know, you can complete an online survey or upload a comment letter or follow their online template. All right. The online survey I did, and it's actually quite quick and easy. All right. So there's not too much included in that. On the next slide, you'll see we'll move into the ASB guide. Now, on the ASB guide, you'll see I've given you a small little summary here. Let's get back to, so you get an idea for what the material looks like, all right? So let me get back to my presentation. And we're going to have a look at what the ASB guide says. The ASB guide is, it was issued by the Accounting Standards Board, right? And as a result of that, it basically is as a result of lockdown. Lockdown in South Africa has led to an increased need for government services and government assistance, right? Because that's where we look to, because we can't work. Not everybody is able to work from home. So instead of the unemployment rate just increasing exponentially, it becomes important that we know how to deal with this increased government services that are now provided and the increased government assistance. All the new government tax relief measures, how must that be accounted for? So this is outlined for entities that apply GRAP, standards of GRAP. GRAP stands for Generally Recognized Accounting Practice, right? And that's issued in terms of the PFMA, the Public Finance Management Act. So this is how municipal entities will account for that. Okay. So if you go and have a look to see how they will account for it, this is what it's all about. Right. The accounting for COVID-19, it only applies to areas that include construction, maintenance, and related activities. Public facilities might not be operational, so other certain services might not be provided as a result of the lockdown. So it could impact on the revenue of entities as well as the ongoing demand for services. All right. So there definitely is an increased demand for medical services, as we've seen, provision of water and other sanitation services, provision of temporary housing or accommodation, assistance and support to employees, unemployed citizens, businesses, NGOs, all of that, because we've got this reduced activity in the economy. Right. So because we've got that, some of the fundamental presentation principles, there's a few of them that entities have got to review. And they definitely have to start with the accounting policies, the same as what we've got to do. So they've got a standard called GRAP 3. GRAP 3 deals with their accounting policies and changes in accounting estimates and errors. So always This is all to consider how the information is presented in the financial statements, right? Because all of this is about enhancing the disclosure.
I hope that you enjoyed that video. For more of our webinar videos, go to www.accountingacademy.co.za. Thank you and have a lovely day.